It's just because the odds of Aki picking the Karthus seem extraordinarily low to me. Like, in recent series, it's all been about the Wukong, it's been about the Sejuani, the Diego, you know, he's really like... I mean, they're just going to first pick Sejuani. That's how confident they are that they don't want Aki on a carry. They want him setting up these lanes.
I'm just sitting on my chair holding my head, by the way, for people who cannot have the visual right now. Aki is laughing because this is his life now. This is his life. Peaking B1 Sejuani. There are so many champions available. The Ashe. There's things like the Corki. There's things like the Yone. I know possibly Rookie right here will be looking for a counter pick over in that mid lane over Scout to try and get that priority. And they do have the Sejuani to facilitate for lanes. However, I am not the biggest advocate for seeing a B1 pick that cannot necessarily be flexed, but neither is an S+ pick.
It feels like an S+ pick in the eyes of Aki at very least, based on this draft.
Trust me, no jungler will tell you that Sejuani is the S+ tier pick.
I don't know. I guess it depends.
They don't want to admit it.
It all depends whether or not you know that Sejuani's ult actually procs Sejuani's E damage. That's the question, yeah. It is going to be that Sejuani first, answered with a Cassante and an Ezreal. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a Leona locked in here for Zhuo, very high priority pick. The Corki going to go in with the Tristana banned away, so you've got that AD in the mid lane. Instead, Ashe going to come on through for, you assume Photic, but could go to Zhuo as well. They've both played at this split.
That is the case. And right here, we're potentially looking for the lock-ins, a good matchup for Scout in the mid lane. And that could potentially be the case. Another AD champion that does also really well into Corki has been the Yone. We've seen this quite a bit over in the LPL. However, okay, there we go. I was about to say, you know, Scout is a pretty good Jace as well, but Yone is one of those matchups that you really love playing in the mid lane because you can also transition as a side lane threat.
You certainly can. We've seen this countless times into the Corki as well. You can survive the pressure that Corki brings using that W and just maintain CS. We'll see what Scout can do on the Yone later in the game. The Braum banned away with the Ashe available for Photic. You do not want to go against Ashe Braum in lane. It is so incredibly oppressive on the side of NIP. I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a Leona ban, Leona Ezreal. Sort of a classic combination, really.
Yeah, and there's things like the Nautilus and the Rel that will make it through. However, we have to pinpoint here that LNG have yet to pick a jungler, and it's going to have to be an AP jungler for WeiWei. And the way it's going right now, it feels like they're pushing him towards something like potentially a Karthus or a Nidalee. I'm expecting a Lilia ban to come out of an IP here because it's one of those jumpers that can also very easily set up. It's not going to be the case. So Lilia up and available for WeiWei if you choose to go for that.
Certainly would be the Karthus, the Lilia, the Nidalee, all three of those AP jungles available. Ivern is technically an AP jungler. We've seen that elsewhere in the world from LPL teams, and it's looked pretty good. I don't think it's going to be coming today, and in fact, it is that Nidalee for WeiWei to go up against Aki Sejuani.
We talked a little bit about a few people that are quote-unquote, right, allowed to play that Nidalee. We expected an AP jungler to come out of WeiWei, and he's been favoring a lot. He's farming AP junglers, and he matches pretty well with the likes of an Ezreal that wants to be poking away. However, let's see here. Ooh, Shanji.
Interesting.
With the Mordecai, the 369 special. Not into a Skarner this time around, but into another tank. Yeah,
we've typically seen this Mordecai as an answer to the Skarner. We've not seen it much into the Cassante, but you can see the extension of logic, right? That you can just pull the all-out in Cassante out of the play, a 1v1 him instead. Zhuo goes for an absolute classic pick of his in that Rakan. Looks like it might be answered with a Nautilus. Rel would be up and available. I feel like Nautilus kind of died a death in the LPL. We don't see anywhere near as much as we did earlier on in the split, but Hung still happy to go for the pick, and rightly so. Interesting compositions. Not how I expected this draft to go, to be honest, but how are you feeling about these ones, Trouble?
I'm loving the Nautilus as the last pick here for Hung because you've got an immobile carry on the bottom of the map, the Ashe, and you've also got a matchup that you win, which is versus Rakan. You get to pin down Rakan. Ezreal gets to put down all the hurt as well. For LNG, there is a lot of if, buts, and maybes because there are a bunch of skill shots that need to hit in order for the Nautilus, the Yone, and the Cassante to go all in. And you also have to be very wary of Shanji's Mordekaiser. Now, we have seen a lot of hits and misses on the Mordekaiser. A lot of Mordekaisers will lose straight up in lane, and then they will not become that huge threat. We've seen the hands of 369, what this monstrosity of a champion can do. And later on in the game, you can even pick up someone like the Yone to put in the realm, which means that a lot of large amount of that threat into your backline dissipates whilst the Mordekaiser ultimate takes him away.
Certainly can. I mean, Mordekaiser just completely shifts the shape of a game, doesn't he? Especially when it comes to fights over neutral objectives. The ability to just pull the enemy jungler out of the mix entirely can secure entire games. We'll see what the performance is going to look like from Shanji here. Whether or not he can bring this Mordekaiser to bear and bring a win for the side of NIP. They've got plenty of tools to start a fight with an Ashe, with a Rakan, with a Sejuani. They've plenty of ways to make things happen. But LNG, plenty of ways to do massive burst damage here with an Ezreal, a Nidalee, a Yone on top. Lots of damage on either side. Lots of potential for action here as we head into NIP versus LNG, game number 1. Oh, they turned off the crowd bikes. Well, all right.
I think it was an IP's turn as well.
Yeah, I think
in their own arena.
Maybe we missed the NIP ones and they were doing the classic LGD ones that sometimes come out. Shanji potentially getting cheesed in this top side as WeiWei is hanging around as well. Bit of extra damage, and it's too late for Shanji to realistically recall without being punished pretty massively. Big time. Oh, flashed into the spear. Shanji, 100 HP and has to recall with no flash. Really nice punish from WeiWei. And now Rookie's been found. Why is he so far up the lane? Hung gets a free route, gets a route down onto Zhuo as well. LNG gets so much at level 1.
That is disastrous right there. Zhuo gets back into his lane, almost half HP. Shanji walks up level 1, minute 1 without TP or flash. And I just wanted to reiterate how a lot of people say, if you're not Canyon, don't play Nidalee. But no one ever says, hey, if you're not Canyon, maybe play Canyon Skin. And that can help you play Nidalee, because that's exactly what WeiWei's doing.
Channel the champ. I mean, I will say,
absolutely.
Shun definitely gets to play Nidalee. Shun is an absolute monster on the pick. Milky Way as well. An absolute fiend when he gets that pick in his hands.
Throw in a Kanavi in there too.
Yeah, Kanavi, why not? Why not? Kindred, Nidalee, what's the difference? They are. I feel like Kindred players and Nidalee players are very often the same players. Scout trying to return the trade. I'm keeping my eyes on that mid lane. Scout versus Rookie. It's an absolute classic. Rookie should, in theory, have pressure to start off. Hung finds the level 2 hook. Maximum range there, but no real follow-up from Gala for the time being. But yeah, Rookie should have priority in this lane. It's down to how well Scout can weather the storm.
And as you can see, it sort of shifted a little bit how Aki clears the jungle towards the top side. Very wary that, hey, potentially Shanji could get dived underneath a tower if a wave builds up towards the top side. Zika has absolute control, and Shanji would lose so much if he got dived level 3. Again, no flash, no TP available. His laning phase could be over right there and then. And there's been a lot of question marks in terms of the Mordekaiser, right? Because we've seen some monstrous Mordekaiser performances, especially coming out of the 6ix9ine. Sheer had a pretty good one as well, where you just get out of lane so strong with pretty good items. You take anyone into the realm and you're able to 1v1 them. However, if you get put behind and you're behind in levels and you're behind in items, the champion is not as tanky as it appears. However, Aki on the long flank.
He wants to get Shanji ahead. Zika with the Q3 could go forwards here. Aki's just waiting for that misstep, waiting for that opportunity. Won't get spotted on the ward as Zhuo pulled in and takes a massive chunk. That's Ignite out from Hung, but honestly, Zhuo's just going to have to reset.
He did burn the Guardian as well in this particular one. And WeiWei is looking. If he doesn't have quick reactions right there, he does.
I mean, it's enough.
Just about dodges.
He stopped the recall, so now Zhuo has to stay in lane. A Rookie has Scout real low on HP, and the wave pushing away from Scout as well. Fleet will do a bit of work to sustain him up in the mid lane, but it does feel tough for him. as Aki did end up going for the reset. So the top lane is kind of reset to normal laning once again. Rookie actually being pushed in here. Scout should be able to, in theory, push that underneath the tower, but Rookie's just going to hold the wave where it is. Might be able to freeze that one, unless he just wants to clear.
Here's the thing about... Oh, another Q.
Zhuo, you got to start expecting these hooks, man. As Photic will get a lot of damage down onto Hung at very least. So decently done there. I suppose Zhuo knows that he's going to head back to base, so just trading that HP. Scout trying to go in onto Rookie, but Rookie just waiting for him to ping back to get more damage down. Tense in the mid lane, tense in the bottom lane. Pretty heavy trades in the top lane as well. This feels like it could become quite a volatile game. Every single laner wanting to enact their will upon their opponents.
Oh, and here's WeiWei trying to go to the top side of the map, punish the fact that Shanji still doesn't have any summoners available to him. If one spear lands, there's both flashes on Zika and WeiWei.
Aki's here too. He's level 4, so not the tankiest at this point. Shanji moves in, gets the shield. Stun comes out onto WeiWei. Maybe they can turn it around. Shanji gets some damage, and he survives as well. Zika answers it, and Aki, I think, might just be able to finish off the Cassante. Flash available for him, but Zhuo's moving in as well. Won't be able to close the gap, won't be able to find that kill, but either way, just answering was enough.
1 for 1. On the top side, Sejuani and Cassante being the ones taking those kills. Aki is going to push in that wave for his top lane as well. There is no teleport onto Zika, so he's going to miss a couple of creeps as one doesn't push fast enough. And -1 right there for Aki, but A for effort. And again, you see WeiWei trying to punish Shanji, but Shanji plays it so cleverly. He sticks as close to Nidalee as possible, which means that the Q damage hits a creep that was pulled back. This would have been Shanji dead right there. Shanji tried to stick as close to Nidalee as possible to take as little damage from Q as possible. But that creep kind of saved Shanji's skin right there.
And Shanji having to walk all the way back up to top anyway. The wave is basically underneath the enemy tower because Aki was the one to push it. Means that he can just help out with those grubs and speed up the take. Rookie will get a reasonable trade onto Scout there. Scout doing a good job of using that shield efficiently so that they're trading fairly even. Rookie up 5 CS currently. Not going to be enough to turn into a big advantage. Zika, level 6 against level 5 here. I don't think he'll find an all-out opportunity, but just using that presence of the extra level. As again, Zhuo just consistently hooked in by Hung.
Now, here's the thing. We said how difficult it was going to be for the bot lane of NIP to play these 2 versus 2. Nautilus does counter both very champions. Whether you land a hook onto Ashe or Rakan, you can take pretty favorable trades, and this is what has allowed LNG to take full control of the bot side of the map, especially the river. And this is something that they definitely need, having in Nidalee, having those extra few dragons early on, playing the game in their own terms, dictating the pace of the game, if you will. I feel like a lot of the times it's very understated how much one dragon can bring to your team in terms of time. A lot of the times you're not quite at the power spike you need, you do not have the right control around that area, and dropping a dragon could potentially be game winning for your team. So having those extra dragons early on, even if you don't go necessarily for that early soul, could be completely instrumental for how your team wants to play around those objectives.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, it will buy you 5 minutes, right, before
Absolutely.
soul is something that you have to contest. Definitely worthwhile. LNG start that one off. It was obviously 3 grubs we saw taken earlier for NIP, so we often see those 2 objectives kind of traded, even if it's not at the same time. Quite often it ends up being the way regardless. Scout trading aggressively in the mid lane. Does Q backwards away from the trade. Rookie, I think, trying to bait him in. Arrow going to go up from Photic. Not even close.
Yeah, I think the target right there was Scout. Didn't end up hitting. Rookie was also backing at this point. I'm sure he'd be ready to dash in.
Yeah.
If that arrow did hit, but it wasn't quite the case. And I feel like both teams have been extremely respectful in terms of how they want to play the laning phase. Luckily, as well for the top side, Shanji has been doing an incredible job at not only keeping himself pretty safe, but also farming up a Storm. He's been pretty even versus Zika right now, and Zika has been taking the fight at him every single time, especially when the wave is stacking up against Shanji. He has been deprived him of a lot of that CS and experience. pushing him into trades like he does right here. So for Shanji to be even CS right here is a pretty good state for him.
Yeah, I mean, got to pick his matchup right. That Mordekaiser going to do well into a tank. Now that we're beyond that level 1 where he lost all of his HP and his flash, he can start to take control of that lane. You can see that advantage starting to build up. And that'll only get worse for Zika as the game goes on. Mordekaiser, not a champion that gets weaker with items. Definitely Shanji going to be comfortable. And it's important that Shanji's comfortable because when you look at the NIP wins that we've seen so far, it has been mostly Rookie and Shanji as kind of the driving forces in a lot of those wins. I mean, Rookie, most MVPs of anyone in the split so far, sat at 8 MVPs as we enter this game.
That's crazy.
Like, he has been a massive driving force, but Shanji as well has had some individual impacts that have really turned things around for his team across the split.
For sure. And I think for Rookie, it speaks miles as well, how we've been saying, oh my god, another international without Rookie, another international without Rookie, someone get Rookie a team. However, this time around, he seems to be locked and loaded, not only due to the MVPs, but the fact that he frees his team off of so much pressure. This guy is probably one of the best laning mid laners that we have over in the LPL, and the way that he manages to transition that pressure through Fog of War, through finding picks. Very interestingly, I was seeing the way that Rookie plays Corki through Fog of War, through flanking, and I was like, you know what? This guy could be so entertaining playing Katarina. I know I'm a little bit biased, but the way this guy uses Fog of War, the way this guy finds flanks, he finds individual picks, I'm like, can you just imagine this guy on like a fun assassin like Katarina?
I mean, yeah, we've seen him on Akali plenty of times. I don't need to imagine
Akali's
it. I know.
Boring, come on. Akali's easy.
I mean, Akali's definitely a lot of fun to watch for a spectator. Especially when Rookie's playing it. I'll tell you what's not fun to watch. It's watching your jungler get absolutely one-shot by NIP. And if that ain't grubs, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that is 6 Void Grubs that are going to be going to the side of NIP. Photic moved over in the mid lane. And NIP have so much engaged in their disposal. However, LNG are going to take the fight to them without a jungler.
They're going to just try and 4v5 this one. Hung moves in. That's 2 grubs already as Hung has to flash away. Shanji now has the opportunity to bring Hung into the Death Realm, and that's not a 1v1 that a support is going to win anytime soon. Hung will try. Oh, actually, Gala stole 1 grub. Hung goes down for his trouble as Scout now gets the combo. Going down on towards Photic. Photic falls as in goes Zika to try and find Aki as well. Aki walking away, Zhuo 1 HP as Shanji left alone. How the hell have LNG just completely turned that on its head?
Zika so huge on the Cassante right there, tanked so much of that damage. And I feel like Shanji taking the support into the real might have been a huge mistake, because Zika got to do whatever the heck he wanted in this fight, being completely unchecked. 3-0-1 has got his first item as well, the strongest member on the Rift. 1 level up on his counterpart as well. That level 1 of Shanji walking up with no flash, no TP, was completely taken advantage of by Shanji. And as we're looking at this fight over again, there are no key ultimates for engages, none of Photic, none of Zhuo. They cannot make those easy engages. Nice flash from Hang as well. And right here, Shanji, instead of taking that Cassante into the realm and freeing the team off of all that Cassante pressure, he takes in that support, and while Hang comes out, that is it. Zika gets to re-engage back in. There's no ultimate onto his Mordekaiser. But all this time, WeiWei has time to spawn and get back into the action.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very early in the game, so the death time is not that long, and a great little snipe at the end there to finish 1 bonus kill. And suddenly, what was looking like an incredibly NIP favor play with a pick onto WeiWei into those grubs. I mean, they only get 2 out of the 3 grubs, and then they lose the fight. I think it was, what, 4-1 in the end of things? Absolutely monstrous. Maybe 3-1, but either way, LNG hugely ahead now, and look at that top lane. Zika 3-0-1.
Anyone missing Season 13 Cassante? Because you're about to get a little glimpse of it over again in this game. 3-0-1, as you mentioned. He's so far ahead of the Kev, a level up onto Shanji still. NIP, though, are going to use the pressure that they have towards the bots of the map to sneak the first dragon of the game. And we've mentioned over and over again, if that Mordekaiser comes out of lane and you bullied whatever tank you picked that Mordekaiser into, it's great. He looks so strong. Zika, though, we said Season 13, K'Sante, can you make it work?
Well, he's got a juicy looking bounty, and NIP want it. No armor to speak of, as he will be whittled down by Rookie underneath the tower. Nobody falls in the end, but now the answer from NIP. From LNG, sorry, as an arrow lands in the death realm, goes straight on towards WeiWei. Shanji finds his opportunity, 1v3, but the arrow saves the day. Flash from WeiWei, pulled back in. Can he escape? The claw comes down, but WeiWei survives.
A little bit questionable from Scout to no TP into this fight, but his team had it all along and nets them yet another tower. The first tower, sorry, of the entire game on the top of the map. Full tower platings and a tower going straight into Scout's pocket, rather huge for the Yone on the side lane. And you mentioned it, that K'Sante had a pretty juicy bounty on his head. I'm not sure who got to cash that one in. I think it might have been Rookie.
I believe it was Rookie. I will say, I was looking at the items, the fact that there was no boots, the fact that it was only an MR item in the inventory of Zika. I thought Rookie would just shred him, but no, survived for so long under the tower. Bought so much time for LNG's reinforcements. LNG are 1,000 gold up right now, as Herald toyed with starting, but Hung not comfortable with the amount of vision in the area. Great wards coming out from Zhuo to spot what LNG are trying to do. They're trying to move up to punish Rookie, but Rookie has full info that this is happening.
And if you look on the bot side of the map, the two top laners, Shanji does not have his TP up and available if NIP want to take this fight. This is why they're just scouting, setting down some vision control and making sure that their top lane does have their TP available if a fight breaks out. You see Zika sort of moving up into the river. This is a very smart move a lot of top laners will do, especially when the wave is not being contested and when both sides have cleared it. You start moving towards the other side of the map, because then you do not have to waste your TP. You can use your TP for tempo after the team fight is over. We have seen it a bunch of times, especially over in the LPL. And Zika, he's doing this again, pushes in his wave, walks up river instead of wasting his TP on potentially a fight that will never happen.
Gala stunned up, cleanse after the arcane shift to safety. Gala has been one of the most consistent players on LNG across this split. He's off to a solid start as well. 600 gold ahead individually. He's got that Triforce. Not the strongest moment in the game for Ezreal. That's once that Mana Moon is finished off. But for the time being, still reasonably strong in the game. Getting towards that moment, still powerful. There's a ward behind enemy lines here. Shanji's going to TP to it, but they're looking for Aki in the meantime. Zhuo dives in to try and buy space and time. That's a great ulti onto Gala. He's pulled into the Death Realm. Arcane Shift already used. Has to flash into the pit, but he's chased down. In the meantime, though, the rest of the fight going the way of LNG. Scout finds one as Zhuo tries to buy more time. Photic pulled in by Hung, but Hung won't be long for the wall. But neither will Photic as he dives into the backside. Shanji trying to shred through the health bars. It's a 3v3 here. WeiWei gets a primal surge to keep himself alive, but goes down in the end. And Zika in a 2v1, but that's a win for Zika as he's on the K'Sante. Scout escaped and LNG come out ahead.
Season 13, K'Sante, baby. Zika is giving us all the nightmares of last year. 5-1-3. The second he joins the fight is over for NIP. Another incredible fight for LNG. Who got the eye? Oh, it was Shanji in the end, who got the Herald for himself. So he's going to be neutral objective going over to the side of NIP. However, it becomes increasingly more difficult to take Zika down. It seems like Photic and Rookie are not doing quite enough damage yet. So let's look at this fight. Zika walking again, as we mentioned, all the way down from the bot side of the map. A little bit late. However, it's still a favorable fight for his team until Shanji joins, takes Gala into the realm. But look at Zika, the second he steps up, there's 3 members of NIP stuck on with each other. Rookie gets assassinated by Zika, and then it has been the K'Sante show ever since. He's just walking up, he takes absolutely no damage. I feel like Rookie dying so early into this fight really did hurt NIP's chances of winning this skirmish.
I mean, Zika Scout as a combo on the Yone and K'Sante. How do you outplay that? Rookie dodges the Q3 from Scout, but then, how are you going to dodge the all-out? It's not something that movement is going to save you from. Rookie ends up going down. 3-0-3 for Aki so far this game. He's quietly been doing a lot of work in these fights and managing to survive. The ultimates have been good from him and from Photic so far as well. Aki over the wall, perhaps staying a little bit too long on this one, and they're actually going to commit everything. Fate Sealed was down. WeiWei's going to finish off the job. Oh, that's a cast of curse and a half. That's a shutdown into the pocket of WeiWei.
Wow, that was a good one, Munch. Well played. 3-1 and 3 now.
Sorry, guys.
For Aki, who tried to almost cosplay hacker right there. Trying to get into a pit that did not belong to him. It's only second Dragon, and I feel like this was a bit of an overreach from Aki. It doesn't matter if he goes over to LNG, you can play the rest of the map. However, I want to reiterate how Shanji being behind on this Mordekaza has inevitably hurt a lot of the power in the teamfight of NIP. Shanji has been trying to block people into his ultimate, feeling like he can kill the target. He's locking in. However, I feel like Shanji's job right here, because he's fallen behind, is to actually lock in someone who's very strong. And whether he leaves or doesn't leave, that is not up to him. It doesn't matter if you lock in Zika and you die to Zika, fair enough. The fact that we've locked out K'Sante for an X amount of seconds allows NIP to potentially take someone else down with them. I feel like Zika and Scout are such a huge force right now that you're gonna have to lock someone away for NIP to try and find a pick.
It just has to be Zika. There's no way you're finding Scout. I mean, he's a secret agent. That's 007 on the scoreboard, so there's no way he's ever going to find him to get that ultimate off. I don't know, I've never seen James Bond in the Death Realm. That wasn't a part of the movies, but maybe that'll be the story for the new Bond that comes on in. Charge in the mid lane. Great hook from Hung. Aki, he's damn tanky. I mean, he barely took any damage under that tower.
Yeah, those 6 assists plus kills that he has have netted them 2 items. So far, NIP take a huge chunk of that mid lane tower, would be huge for them. However, LNG are very sneakily surrounding the Baron area. Could be potentially looking for a mid lane tower as well. NIP on the reset right here, they could catch them sleeping and take that mid lane tower, which will free a lot of that vision around that Baron and top quadrant of Aki's jungle.
Oh no, the ult goes a little bit wide, but the arrow does not. Perhaps a chance here. WeiWei flashes the Claw of Doom and will get out with his life. NIP searching for a chance there, but actually WeiWei got away with the buff as well. And Scout, every single time the camera pans over to Scout, he's in a side lane, he's farming up a Storm, and he's trying to get himself stronger. He's already on those 2 items. Blade of the Rune King there as well, so as you mentioned, the threat on Baron later on. Scout will do that objective extremely fast, but 3 items on Yone it's a terrifying thing to witness.
I absolutely love the double lifesteal item as well. If Shanji locks you in the realm, you've got so much lifesteal ability. Not that you currently needed, you're 2 levels above this Mordekaiser. This Mordekaiser has about an item and a half, and you're on 2 items onto Yone, 2 levels up. You're gonna be absolutely fine in the Death Realm. However, his items are so strong right now to survive any threat. I love it for a side lane pressure as well. Whether you go up against the Mordekaiser or even the Corki, there's so much poke coming in for the Corki on a side lane. But at this point, you've got so much lifesteal that you can very easily take the all-in.
Can I just quickly say, we're watching a game between NIP and LNG are actually doing things before the 35-minute mark. Like, there have been kills on the scoreboard in an LNG game. There's been exciting action. The team fights have been intense. And we're only just beyond the 20-minute mark. Arrow won't hit, but the ultimate from Aki will. WeiWei forced away a Scout, pulled into that death row. Let's see if the lifesteal will work out for Scout here. He's not winning the 1v1 so far. Forced to flash on the backside as all 5 members of NIP are up in the top lane. They're going to brute force this tier 1 tower as Zika tries to push elsewhere.
I would say that lifesteal did get him out alive. The shield bow proc right there with a huge shield. And his flash levels 4 members of NIP onto this Yone, and Scout willingly went forward to try and trade and also lifesteal. This will be a tower, of course, as previously mentioned, for NIP. However, if you look towards the bot side of the map, 50 seconds from now, it will be sole point if LNG manage to secure the next dragon coming up. And that Yone looks so dangerously close to his 3 items. Infinity Edge right here could be huge. Coming through for Scout.
It would be massive. BF sword picked up there.
Unless you can go BT and you can have every lifesteal item in the game.
You could grab your second lifesteal.
Almost every
certainly,
last item.
certainly red items, that's for sure. Going for the crit though, so probably not Bloodthirster. I think it is going to be that Infinity Edge.
Yeah.
Let's see though.
Unlucky.
4,000 gold lead for LNG as Drake spawns onto the map. They've already got 2 for themselves. They'd love to get a third, and remember, this is Infernal Drakes. This would be an Infernal Soul, and that is something that you don't want a Yone to have.
Scout started it.
He certainly has. Pulling that one out of the pits. NIP try and move into contest, but this is difficult to push into this much poke without a true front line. And in the meantime, Zhuo's been found. Scout gets his ult dodged away from as Hung engages on the 3-man squad, and Rookie's gone! LNG set it up beautifully. Multiple threats as Zika's diving the backline looking for Photic. He's got barrier, but is it enough? The answer is no. Shanji finds Zika in the death realm. Revenge is all Shanji can hope for. Zika dodging, looks for the claw, but he gets a heal at the last second. The primal surge keeps Zika alive. LNG indomitable.
5.5k damage coming out of this K'Sante in the previous fight, and LNG are sprinting for the Baron. Such decisive play from the get-go for LNG, and it's a great side to have, especially as your first game in the Ascent group versus NIP. Zhuo is gonna pop in a ward potentially for Aki to try and steal, but I don't think Aki will get anywhere near that pit. Maybe he will.
He's going to try. He's going to try. He gets into the pit. It's 2k on the Baron, but they just turn around onto Aki. Great play from NIP. Baron secured. Where was this LNG for the entire year? For the entire last couple of years? Where has this squad been? This is gorgeous.
Incredible spot right here from Scout. Sees Zhuo on a wall, takes him out instantly. Was there S of LNG? See an overextended Rookie and instantly capitalize onto him. He has been, Rookie has had a target on his back for the entire game, and I feel like LNG have been successfully finding that target over and over again. Rookie on the Corki has not been able to put down any damage, and there you go. Season 13 K'Sante is back. Ladies and gents, enjoy.
That last second primal surge from WeiWei as well, but Zika. I mean, Scout keeps trying to make these big plays with his fate sealed, but Zika is taking the limelight every single time. Scout is yet to actually get a single kill just yet. 0-0-9 on the Yone. It's not often you see that, but LNG. I mean, look, I've been a little bit of an LNG hater over the last few years because they have always played so slow and so boring. If they play like this regularly, I am so down. Ult onto Hunk. Scout pulled into the death realm. I'm not sure that's a 1v1 Shanji can win, to be honest. Scout just wailing on the health bar. Q3 comes in. The 1v1 is won by Scout, and now the rest of the team picked apart. LNG by 2, and Zika is behind the tower. Photic will fall. LNG, they're massacring NIP.
I love how they have the confidence to push forward. They've got 10,000 gold lead in their pockets, and they're just slamming NIP with it. LNG clearing up versus NIP in that game number 1. No mercy. Rook and Zhuo alive. I don't know if they can defend.
I don't think they can. Hung has been so on point with his hooks across this game as well. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. LNG are just going to end the game right here, right now. 5 seconds until Aki comes up, but the Nexus will be focused. Rookie barely survives. Zhuo not so lucky. Nexus down. LNG just won a game in under 27 minutes. I bet you didn't expect that.
Incredible showing right here from LNG. So decisive. My question is, and it will remain, for the side of NIP, because that looked like a mess from top to bottom. You had Zhuo running into Nautilus multiple times. Yeah. You had Shanji with a very disastrous, unfortunate level 1. But my question here remains, what happens when Rookie doesn't get ahead to give that head start to the team? And as we saw, NIP seems to fall apart when that happens.
I love this like full double dive from the K'Sante Yone as well. So entertaining to watch during those team fights. We're going to jump into a break, and then we'll find out if NIP have more in the tank. But honestly, if LNG can play like that consistently, they're looking to be a team that climbs those standings once more. Let's see if they can do it twice.